With all the unrest and unhappiness in the colonies over the taxes to pay for the French and Indian War, many people, or a few people, were becoming patriots. And a patriot was someone who would actually want to go all the way, break away from England, and start a new country. However, this was a small minority in the beginning. Most of the people remained loyalists, people who wanted to stay with Britain even though they were unhappy with the way the British was ruling them. However, the event of the Boston Massacre will cause many more people to become patriots. There are many more patriots in Boston than anywhere else, and the patriots were causing problems. They were harassing tax collectors, disobeying laws, and causing general unrest. To solve this problem, the king and the governor sent 2,000 redcoats into Boston to restore order. Redcoats are British soldiers. The soldiers were hated by the local people. The local people hated them because they were taking their jobs. They hated them because they stood for the tyranny of an outside government telling them what to do. Combine this with high unemployment, and the people of Boston were very angry and ready for a fight, and they found their fight at the Boston Massacre. In 1770, one night, a lone British soldier was guarding a tax collection office, and some apprentices or young boys stumbled upon him. Following the lead of some of the older people, they began taunting and harassing the soldier. The soldier gets frustrated and pushes one of them, and just as he does that, about 200 to 300, a crowd of 200 to 300 angry adults rounds the corner and sees what's happening. They quickly surround the soldier and began taunting and throwing snowballs at him and throwing things at him. He calls for backup. Other soldiers arrive, and they read the crowd the riot act, which said they have 1 hour to disperse or the soldiers can open fire. Knowing that they have an entire hour to cause trouble just made the crowd more angry and more rambunctious. Eventually, after much pushing and shoving and throwing things, one of the British soldiers accidentally fires his weapon. Thinking that everyone had been given the order to fire, the entire group of soldiers opened fire on the crowd, and 3 to 5 people died, including the first person, Crispus Attucks. This was a bad situation, and it was contributed to by both sides. Both the soldiers and the crowd were at fault. However, Paul Revere, who witnessed the attack, drew a very different drawing. As you can see here, he made it look like the British soldiers were attacking the crowd, and the crowd was not provoking them. It looks like the British officer is ordering the crowd to attack. He divides the crowd between the colonists and the soldiers, making there look like a division between both groups, which are both under the British people. He quickly stamped this and spread it all over the colonies, and it convinced many people that the British soldiers were evil and the British people from England were against the colonists, thus dividing them and creating more patriots. It's interesting how such a story can be changed and what effect propaganda like this can have on history. This convinced many more people to become patriots. And the fallout, people are dead. It was a very bad situation, and then Paul Revere's woodcut goes all over the colonies, and it will convince many more people to become patriots. The British tried to back off on taxes. They repealed the Stamp Act, but it was too late. The colonists were already too angry. Although they repealed the Stamp Act, they added other taxes. The Townshend Acts were taxes on guns, paper, and tea. Again, it just makes the British, it makes the colonists more and more angry, and the British are getting more and more angry at the colonists, so the situation is about to boil over. Another event that happened in the Boston area was the Boston Tea Party. The Tea Act forbid people from buying tea from anyone but the British East India Company. And this put many local tea sellers out of business and outraged them. One night in Boston, a large mob of people, after having a meeting about the tea, stormed down to the harbor and threw all the tea overboard. They threw thousands of pounds of tea overboard, ruining it, wasting it, destroying it. And there you can see it there. The British king responded with the Intolerable Acts, where he closed the Boston harbor, putting hundreds of Bostonians out of work. And it made Britain furious with the colonists, and the colonists furious with Britain. He canceled the Massachusetts Charter and gave some Massachusetts land away. This made everyone furious, and now we are on the edge of rebellion. We are on the edge of violent rebellion. Thanks for your attention. We'll add to this more tomorrow.